Remember I told you that we are living through the time of trials. So the time of trials is actually a reference to one of the hadiths from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And this is again to give you a comparison of getting 70 houris. So you don't kill yourself for 70 houris, because there are other opportunities that you can get way, way more reward than just 70 houris without killing yourself. So the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the time of trial would be the time when people would succumb to greed, and they would follow their desires, and then they become corrupted by worldly life, right? And then everyone is impressed with his own opinion. So if you go through the social media, to every single individual, their own opinion is the most important one, and they are so impressed with their likes and dislikes and followers and all those kinds of things. So we are actually living through that time of trial, and this is an opportunity for us. Because Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if you're living through that time and you live by the clear injunctions of the Quran, then your reward would be as much as 50 of his companions, right? And some of the narrations say that not just 50 of his companions, but 50 of the martyrs during the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So it means that living in the way of Allah these days is more difficult than dying for Allah, right? And that's why the reward for living as a Muslim, living by Islam and its core principles and core commandments of the Quran is more difficult, and that's why more rewarding as per these hadith. So Muslims who have a good understanding of Islam and who would know about this, then they can get this reward just by following the basics of Islam, where everything that we call haram is halal. Like you can go and as soon as you're 16 or 18, then you can get alcohol in the store. What is it? What's the age limit? 16? You don't even know, right? So alcohol is halal here. Pork is halal here. Interest is halal here. So everything that's haram in Islam is halal here. So if you protect yourself from gamble and booze and all those kinds of things which are haram in Islam during this time, then one, you'll have a happy and peaceful life, like those guys who get killed on daily basis, and majority of them are Muslims, right? We mentioned in another video, Muslim youth, right? Here, not only here, but in Toronto and other places, majority of them are Muslims, but they don't follow the true core message of Islam. But if you follow the true core message of Islam, you won't get involved in gangs, you won't get involved in drugs, and you won't get involved to begin with in bullying and stuff at school, right? So if you don't do that, one, you'll have a peaceful life, and then you won't have to kill yourself. Like here, the propagandists are telling us that go kill innocent civilians and blow yourself up, kill yourself, and then you'll go to paradise and get 70 houris. But there is the opportunity for us, like just stick to the basics of Islam, and then you get the reward of 50 of martyrs during the time of Prophet Muhammad, his companions, right? Which is a huge reward compared to this. If someone comes to you and says that, look, you're going to get 70 virgins in paradise, and let's do something, kill innocent civilians, then what would be your response?
I would tell him that we are living in the time of fitna, time of trial. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, in this time, if you're a Muslim, it will be hard to be a Muslim and easy to be to disobey Allah.
Yeah.
And in this time, holding on to your iman will be like holding on to a burning coal.
Good. Okay.
And you wouldn't want to hold on to a coal unless you find that there's good in it. So the hadith continues and says that the people who have iman in that time will have the reward of 50 people. And then they asked which 50 people of their time or our time. The companions asked, and then they said of your time. So 50 times the reward of the companions, and the companions were those who gave all their assets to the deen.
In their life and everything, right? So they had huge reward. So what are you trying to actually tell him? He's offering you 70 hur.
That whatever Allah has is better.
So you're actually trying to tell him that he's offering you 70 hur, but you're multiplying 70 by 50 at least, right? So you have a greater reward just sticking to the basic principles and basic commandments of Islam, right? During this time of hardship. So keep your 70 houris, get away, and go to your fake jihad. I'm staying here. And what's the just last question? What's the philosophy behind the concept of martyrdom? What's the message for this? It's not just the reward for those who die as martyrs, right? That's not the intention. What's the actual philosophy behind such a huge reward?
It's to support, help the weak people.
Is to support, because most of those who are considered as martyrs or shaheed, they are either being attacked or harassed or forced to leave their homes or being dispossessed, or they are most vulnerable, like women who are dying during pregnancy or during childbirth, right? So all those are vulnerable people. So it's our responsibility to help them. One thing that I forgot to tell you about the 70 virgins. There are some scholars who are saying the reference to 70 is the number which Arabs used to use when they used to describe something in large number, right? Like they would say that even if you ask me 70 times, I'm not going to give it to you, right? Or if you say sorry for 70 times, I'm not going to forgive you, something like this, right? So some scholars are saying that this 70 is just a number there to emphasize the importance of the reward for the shaheed, right? And then this 70 is actually one of the 7 different types of the rewards which a shaheed or martyr would get in paradise. But those who want to propagate this myth, they've been kind of pointing that only one thing out and presenting as that's the only source of motivation for Muslims. And just the last one that we have to be very, very careful. It's again about the time of trial, and that is that staying away from haram is not easy, and that's why this is considered as the time of trial. And that's why one of the hadiths is saying a believer would be a believer in the evening and then turn to disbeliever in the morning, or he would be believer in the morning and then a disbeliever in the evening. So what it actually means is that you'll be praying your 5 times prayer. You might be praying tahajjud, and during the day you'll do something that's not permitted in Islam, right? So and this is that time. So we have to be very, very careful about all these things, and also try to educate others about the true message of Islam.